this was probably still way better than the top 10's list of best action movies. But yeah, we'll be going over the best action movies of all time. Basically, yeah, the most the most popular movies, and we'll be going over our opinions on all the movies. You know, and yeah, the greatest action movies of all time. The Dark Knight. That's surprising. That's surprising that it isn't Die Hard. Because everybody says, "Oh, Die Hard's the greatest action movie of all time." But the ranking record disagree with people. It's not Dark Knight, which Dark Knight doesn't really have much action scenes in it. I know. Oh no, there's like two fight scenes, one against the Joker, and one against a bunch of people who are working with Joker. I think there was like 2 or 3 fight scenes in the movie. But if you want to go on pure action, I think Terminator 2, which is number 2, is much more better if you want the action fight scenes and all that stuff. And yeah, Dark Knight is more of it's more about the characters, more about the story, which of course is a good thing, not a bad thing. So yeah, number 2 is of course Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I've seen both of these movies at number 1, number 2. I've seen both of these movies, but yeah, Terminator 2, of course, is a classic among action movies. I don't know anyone who hates this movie. I don't know anyone who hates this movie. There's like no one who hates this movie because I think everybody can agree this is one of the greatest movies of all time. Okay, Terminator 2. Well, Terminator 1 is good, but yeah, Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1, obviously, because Terminator 2 has much more memorable characters. And actually, you have Die Hard. Die Hard, I haven't seen the movie, but yeah, Die Hard spawned a whole subset of, kind of like how John Wick is now having its own rip-offs, such as Atomic Blonde and Anna. And yeah, Die Hard is essentially one of the most influential action movies of all time, and this movie too. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, I've seen both. I've seen Indiana Jones. Yeah, it's a pretty great action movie, but yeah, Die Hard is you know, basically an action movie that came out a long time ago. I thought it came out in the early 90s, but it came out in the late 80s. So yeah, they even started a whole subgenre of its own. Next is Star Wars and Star Wars again. Yeah, Star Wars are pretty great action movies. Star Wars, there's lots of Sith battles and stuff. Episode 5, there's Sith battles and stuff. You know, yeah, I think that, yeah, next is Gladiator, of course, is about history and stuff. And yeah, Gladiator is about fights, and, there's a whole, and ends with the Gladiator scene. Next is The Predator. The Predator is on this list, of course. The Predator is a classic. How could it not be on the list? The Predator is a classic movie. I like both of the original Predator movies. It's this one and its sequel. I think they both have pretty up good setups. I think the first one is way better because the jungle setting makes more sense. But yeah, next is the Terminator. Terminator is on the list. Obviously, I remember the Terminator franchise, Indiana Jones, and the Last Crusade. I think I've seen the older Indiana Jones movies, but I haven't really seen them recently. Braveheart, I actually have not seen this movie. It's a historical medieval war drama about Scotland. Saving Private Ryan. I think over the years, over time, I think 1917 is going to destroy this movie. And next is the movie that's should have been the top 100 movies of all time on this site, but of course, the site is like, oh no, we're not gonna put the Matrix in the top 100 movies of all time. You gotta be kidding me, okay? And I think in terms of action, it's way more about the story and introducing us to the universe. The second movie is more about the fights, fights against the agents and Neo after he learns how his powers are. And yeah, it does have and then of course Jurassic Park. Of course, Jurassic Park. That's a classic. It's a classic. Dinosaurs, of course. And I don't really think it's a action movie, but of course it's dinosaurs. It's classic. Dinosaurs are awesome. And yeah, I think it's kind of more of a horror action movie, not just a pure action. The newer movies are kind of more pure action than the older movies. But yeah, there's a lot of good action scenes like the T-Rexes and stuff and the Raptors. Yeah, it's an action movie. Avengers, yeah, of course the Avengers is gonna be on this list. I don't think the best action movie list is gonna be without the Avengers, or at least in the top 50. First Blood, Rambo movies are of course. Rambo is a quintessential action movie. It's gonna be here. John Wick. Obviously, John Wick is even starting its own style of rip-off movies. Even its own parent company, Lionsgate, is making John Wick rip-off movies like Anna. There's now movies that are basically just trying to rip off the John Wick style, and they're all failing. We have movies like basically movies about assassins, killing people, You have, with the John Wick ripoff genres now. You have movies like Atomic Blonde, which is basically a ripoff of John Wick. You have, of course, Anna, which is basically a ripoff of John Wick, but of a female spy from France. And yeah, it's done its own subset of as I call John Wick ripoffs. And a lot of them not even that great either. So yeah, John Wick has its own subset of movies that, inspired. And same thing with the Avengers. There's lots of movies that try to rip off the Avengers. There was the Hellboy movie. There was the Justice League movie. And there's a lot of poor man Avengers movies as well. Lethal Weapon, that's an old movie. I have not seen it. Batman Begins, of course, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I think the battle between Batman and Wars are cool, And yeah, next is Aliens, of course. The Aliens is a pretty cool movie, of course. Iron Man, I think that one has to be on this list because it's the first MCU movie. And yeah, it's a pretty great movie. Episode 6. Yeah, Episode 6 has a lot of great action scenes and a lot of hilarious action scenes, like with the Ewoks next to the Fugitive. Have not seen it. Indiana Jones. I have it. Born. Yeah, Born is basically, it's about a guy who is a guy who's being chased by people and you have to fight them off. Total Recall, that's a Schwarzenegger movie. I have not seen that one. It's in 2084, Taken. I think I have these movies, but I just didn't see them. I think I have this movie. I think these movies about aliens. Also, no, I don't think that. I think I have this movie, but I haven't seen it. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. That's an old movie, Clint Eastwood movie. Lord of the Rings. That's surprised that's not higher, but yeah, Lord of the Rings is. There's a lot of action scenes, a lot of story scenes. Lord of the Rings is one of the few long movies where you don't get bored watching it. You don't get bored watching it because there's so much there's so much stuff going on. It's kind of like, the length of these movies are kind of necessary because there's so much stuff going on in the movies. There's so many plot lines and stuff, and they all work together perfectly. Though it's basically an epic of epics. Mad Max Fury Road, True Lies, 300. Of course, 300 has to be on the list. The 300 is, of course, it has the fight, but it's about war. Of course, the sequel sucked, but yeah. Independence Day, another movie with a bad sequel. Independence Day is a classic action movie about aliens. Jaws, Jaws, it's about socks. Jaws is really a horror movie. It's a thriller movie and a horror movie, not really action. But yeah, it's really more of a thriller or horror, not really action. Lord of the Rings it's slightly action. It's like Jurassic Park. It's really more of a thriller instead of action. But I think thriller movies are a subset of action movies, so it is an action movie. The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, as I explained with the other Lord of the Rings movies, Casino Royale. That I think that's a James Bond movie. That's the first James Bond movie on the list. Black Hawk Down, that's a war movie by Ridley Scott. Lethal Weapon 2. Die Hard 2, they made a sequel. They made like 5 Die Hard movies. Cold Pursuit, surprised that's on the list. That's a movie that's a movie that Twitter tried to cancel. And they actually successfully did it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Dirty Harry. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it's a mix of comedy, action, and story. It's best movies for kids. Even is on that list. Alien's more of a horror movie. The first one's more of a horror movie, and the second movie is more of an action movie. Scarface, End of the Dragon. Yeah, it's kind of like some really old movies. Die Hard of a Vengeance, Lord of the Rings, Heat, The Rock, Dark Knight Rises, Spies is only at 51. Rambo, the remake, Kill Bill. Yeah, I've actually seen Kill Bill. It's actually a pretty great movie. And yeah. It's pretty hard to get. I've seen it on TV. It's pretty hard to find on Blu-ray, so I'll probably not get it on Blu-ray because it's pretty hard to find it on the movie on Blu-ray. And yeah, it's like martial arts and anime. I think it's like an anime-inspired movie. Mad Max 2, The Bourne, Ultimatum, Reality Professional. I heard of this movie before. The Bourne movies. Yeah, Bourne movies are action movies. Fifth Element, Speed, RoboCop, Top Gun, Skyfall, Batman. Well, most of the action movies I've always seen are like the big movies, not like a lot of the older movies. Man in Black, and Mission Impossible, 2 quintessential action movies. I'm surprised the newest one is not higher. Point Break, Fight Club, Beverly Hills Cop. So I'm just gonna go. I'm just not gonna put my opinions on most of these movies. Infinity War, that's on the list. Infinity War's at 75. Yeah, Infinity War's on the list. Inception, yeah, Inception's I'm surprised. It's a very great action movie. But yeah, Incredibles, very overrated movie. I will never understand why people say, when people say, "Oh, Incredibles is so amazing," or whenever I see Incredibles, or I think it's like, why do people like this movie? It's basically a kid's version of Fantastic Four. That's every time I see this movie, that's what I think. It's just a kid's version of Fantastic Four. There's like a few humorous scenes in the movie, but the game movie isn't really that amazing as Pixar fans always make it out to be. Pixar fans always make out The Incredibles to be this amazing movie, to be this quintessential superhero movie when it really isn't. It's even more overrated than how DC fans overrate The Dark Knight. Okay, Con-Air, Spider-Man. Surprised that the older Spider-Man movies are not higher. Spider-Man 2, despite, people saying, "Oh, it's the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time," it's not higher. Avatar, oh, no, Avatar is not a good movie. Avatar's garbage. Yeah, Avatar's garbage, throwing that down. What's our Kill Bill 2? Should be next to Kill Bill 1, but yeah, Kill Bill 2 is right on the action. Blade Runner was on the list, and yeah, I don't think the site will load. And yeah, that's the greatest action movies. I'll go down to 100, but yeah, if you look at modern day action movies, it's mostly superhero movies. And yeah, superhero movies is mostly on here. And yeah, the site's not working anymore, so yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.